welcome everyone to this episode of ERTV. I'm Jay Green. I am one of the key iLab facilitators and mentors with Entrepreneur Resorts. And today I'm actually with one of our other iLab graduates, iLab mentors, Martiene van Styne. Now, Martiene, not only is she a grad and a mentor, but most importantly, from doing iLab, she has become location independent and she specializes in the health and fitness industry. And with her digital agency, Branding in a Box, which is a creative social media marketing and sales development company based and started in Australia, she travels the world having teams all over the place, creating and curating authentic content to provide clients with their box of marketing tools that evoke the essence of their story and their brand. And then they unpack the box for them by producing and managing strategies that attract clients that you need. Now, Martiene's actually handling my branding, so I obviously think very highly of her. She's actually just done Rory's as well, who most of you will have seen in earlier episodes as well. And today she is going to share with us 6 simple steps to getting your next 100 members. So welcome, Martiene. Where are you?
Oh my goodness. What an introduction. I can't believe that you're speaking about me. That sounds quite surreal. And super humbling. So I love it. But today I'm in San Sebastian in Spain. I'm literally about to start walking the Camino de Santiago tomorrow. So
with one of our other mentors, our facilitators, aren't you?
Yeah, totally. It was always my dream when I came to iLab to be able to run a business location independent. And you know, right, most people come to iLab and are able to do that. So I always call myself slow learner. It took me a little while longer than it takes for most, but we get what we're doing and inspire and help other people to do the same.
Yeah, love it. And I love that actually all of us facilitators at the moment are doing exactly that.
Yeah, it's pretty darn good, really. It's just a testament to the community and also just I suppose just how everyone's showing up. So you should show up. Roger says, step up, show up, give back. That's exactly the philosophy that I've built this business on. It's how I live my life. And I know that connecting with people like you and Rory and Paulina and all the incredible people I've been able to work with and connect with, we all have the same philosophy. So when you have these aligned goals, then it's really easy to do good work because there's a real synergy. And I think if there was one thing that I got out of being part of the community, is like people with aligned missions and visions, because then the work is co-created and it's much easier to do.
Yeah, so true. Okay, let's not keep them waiting any longer. Give us your 6 tips.
Everything. I've actually got give me everything. I've actually got, let's see how great I'm at this. I've actually got just some slides. So I'll share some of those just because as a creator profile, if I don't stick to the slides, I am going to be all over it, right? So
I'm glad you've got slides, otherwise my star would run off for the show.
Yeah, really. I know it says 16 steps and there's probably 16 steps in this, and then my creator profile who doesn't prove things. I wanted to create something quickly for this so that we could give you some simple strategies. I'm going to share with you this slide deck afterwards, as well as a couple of other bits and pieces and tools that you can have. But
awesome, thank you.
Give you a bit of a background, my absolute pleasure. To give you a bit of background on my experience in building a membership business, so I've come from, 14 years in corporate health and fitness. And my most recent role a couple of years ago, I was asked to go to the States and review what was happening in the States in the health and fitness space and bring that back to Australia. This particular model, this particular business, Total Fusion, had never existed. It is a real fusion of yoga and fitness in a heated space. And so everything that everyone thought about yoga was debunked. And everything that everyone thought about barefoot training and fitness was debunked. And so when I came back, I had 10 weeks to build this studio. It was a $3 million studio. And we launched it with no website, we had no community, we had no brand. We just had a logo. We had an Instagram feed with stock photos. We had no website. I hadn't even written the format for the classes. So we had no timetable. We had no key instructors. Like, it was my team living the dream and doing it all. Right? Creator! Happy days. So what I did in this space, we launched and we had 10 weeks towards opening, and what we were able to achieve was 1,000 members within our first 6 weeks of opening. So we sold 800 memberships to a business that had no website. Again, an Instagram feed that only had stock images. It wasn't a cheap offer. It was like a $25 a week offer, which, you know, you're competing with, you know, say your Jets and some of your smaller organizations who are like $6, $7, $8 a week. But how we went about that was really threefold, right? So we had a very strong digital acquisition strategy. So we used Facebook ads and digital marketing, but we also had a really heavy referral campaign. And then what we were able to decide or decipher was that there's a huge market gap in the trust in the health and wellness space. So people who were going to yoga centers, they were frightened that everyone's like, you know, beautiful, bendy, like 20-year-old yogis or yoginis. Or we had people who had experience in the fitness industry who were like intimidated by the big buff boys, right? So there's a real gap in the trust in the community, and through that we were able to really connect with people by being authentically us. Not every health and fitness or wellness guru looks like that. We're normal everyday people, and I think that was really the secret to our success, is being everyday people, real people, are connecting in and bringing real value to the community and disrupting what fitness marketing looked like, and yoga marketing, right? So, and the other thing that we had was a really clear sales process. So we knew what worked in the industry and we were very sure on how to do that. So I started this business with 2 key staff members, and like I said, we sold 800 memberships before opening and another 200 within our first 6 weeks. So it was a fairly intense time. We then duplicated that because I needed proof of concept. We duplicated that and we opened our second studio with 1,200 members, and we did that just 6 months later. And then another 6 months later, we opened our third studio with 1,500 members. So all up, it was close to 1, 2, 3, like almost 4,000 members within 12 months using this particular strategy. So what I can tell you in this space, and I know I've worked with some organizations, is that this requires a lot of mental energy. So most of us in health and wellness, most of us in the allied services, we're blaze energy or creator energy. If you want to do this, you have to go into middle energy, and you have to know the value proposition but understand the metrics. And so I think that's the hardest thing for us to context switch, but that gives you an idea of how we were able to do it. And it's proven concept. I've done it again and again and again. So I'm going to share with you some of those elements that we brought to life and how you can do that too.
Amazing. And if you aren't one of our iLab grads or haven't been in the EI community, and we're talking gibberish to you, you're going, what is a steel energy? What is a blaze energy? Don't worry, you can always drop us a message. We have a Wealth Dynamics profile which goes through all of the energies and all of the specific profiles and your natural path to flow and what energy you need to be in when you're trying to do specific tasks. So if that's of interest of you, just drop us a message and we will make sure that we get you some information.
Yeah, I think that's super important, because otherwise, I won't talk of the energies again, but I know that when I've spoken to people and I come from this very structured, mechanical type of process, people go, oh my God, but what about the soft, fluffy, like feely services person? You can still be that person, but growing your membership and your subscription requires process. Everything is a process. Your sales is a process. Your acquisition is a process. So yeah, but you'll be fine.
Yeah,
so let's get into it.
Definitely over on that metal energy, that detail, the thing that I don't have.
You have a bit. I know you. You've got detail. Yeah. So let's start with like the key thing. One of the things that I know to be true, everyone's focusing on their 100 members, but you can't get members unless you have lead generation. I know this may sound really, really simple, and I've worked with businesses already where they just keep harvesting from their database. You're going to run out of people to call. So what I need you to know is that opportunity is everywhere. You need to, when we're in our business and we're focused on, oh, my yoga studio needs this, or my wellness studio needs this, and we're just focusing on what we need, we forget to see the scope, or we've tried something before and it hasn't worked. What I can tell you is no is not a no. It's just not a right now, or they don't really believe you, or they're not your peaks. And if they're not your peaks, it's okay too, because the right copy and content. I see there's 3 kinds of lead generation. And so people say, oh, I want to do digital marketing. And I'm like, yeah, digital marketing is good, but it's just one layer. So if you're pinning all your hopes and dreams on your Facebook ad, you're only getting 30% of the opportunity, right? So digital marketing is one piece. Facebook ads is the space that I play in. The other place is member referrals. So if you're not getting 30 to 40% of your new business from your current members and the people who love you, you definitely need to be looking at the experience and what's going on in your business, particularly for a service-based health, wellness, allied practitioner, anything in this space that's location-based, that has subscription. If you're not getting 30 to 40% of your business from your current membership, you need to be looking at some of those processes.
I think this can apply to almost any location-based business. So even really, if you think about it, even a dress shop, they could be applying similar ideas. It may not be the exact places they'll look, but the similar principles of where are your lead sources coming from? How do you get your customers coming back? And it may not be a membership. Maybe it's a loyalty program. It could be a coffee shop. And how do you put that in? So for those of you that are listening and you're going, oh, well, actually, that isn't for me, I challenge you to look at this, because this is how businesses grow exponentially. And this is why people bring outside experts from their industry into their businesses for their big brainstorms. And this is what the big juggernauts do, is to say, how can we look at things from another perspective? How can we look at what another industry does well and apply it to what we do to shape the game? So, sorry, Martiene, I just get excited because I know all the stuff you're doing.
Yeah, no, this is what it's about, right? So how do you take this? And people say, well, I don't have a membership business. I'll meet coaches that say, I don't have. Yeah, well, I meet coaches that are like, I don't have a membership business. And I'm like, I think you're limiting yourself to what a membership business is. If someone is paying you a recurring subscription, so if they're paying you for monthly coaching fees, that is a membership. They're actually buying recurring things from you. Now, you can call that your coaching clients, but if you're smart, you'd build that into your community. For me, membership is community. What membership solves, and same with coffee shops, if you've got someone with a loyalty card, if you prepay or they're buying that loyalty card, they're a member. They're subscribing to a regular purchase from you. You need to think about this as curating your community, because membership solves 2 problems. It solves cash flow and certainty. If you knew every month as a coach or as a physio that you had this person who's coming to you every single month for a certain rate, that solves a lot of problems for a lot of businesses, right? So
yeah. Certainly.
And for all of us, I built on retainers, right? So because I'd gone into business before, like every entrepreneur, and started and made a bunch of mistakes and had to go back to the drawing board. But the thing that saved me this time is that understanding that recurring revenue, people call it residual income, whatever that is, recurring revenue is the secret, and membership solves that problem. So what can you get people to subscribe to? If you're a graphic designer, giving them new social content every month. If you're a video animator, that's a video animator, giving them a new video every month. What can you do that will create a subscription that would allow you to create cash flow and certainty? So cool.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, right. And then the other thing is, the third piece is local area marketing. If you are a location-based business, a wellness center, health and fitness center, a coffee shop, whatever that is, if you're not tapping into your local area, you're leaving a lot on the table. But people are frightened of this, right? So 3 areas for lead generation: digital, yep. Your current members or current customers, yep. And your local area. People want to do business with people. People want to support local communities. People want to support local businesses. If they could come to your coffee shop rather than going to Starbucks because your coffee is better and your friend's sister's daughter's son is working there, they're going to come to you.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And more we're getting like that. We're going back to wanting to have that community connection, we're looking global, but there's that big pushback against the global corporations, right? And all of the negative things and the damage they're doing to our society, and that And if we can bring that back into local and community, then you will soar.
Totally. And this is how I've built my business. And it's how we built Total Fusion. People want to do business with people, not brands. You've heard me say that a million times, Jade. Like, Jade's been around me enough times to hear me say this. Like, and even influencer marketing. Why does influencer marketing work? Because it's a people or person that they trust. Yep. This is so important.
Well, we know I'm on that ship with my personal branding stuff. So
I know, right? And look, Rory's doing this super well. Like, you know, I'm so blessed to work with really cool people. And of course, that's how we build our relationship. There's no like and trust. And then it's like, okay, well, I want to go with you because I believe you. It's the same in your business. Chiro, physio, yoga, fitness, PT, business coach, life coach, whatever you are, if you have some whiz-bang brand, that's okay. But mostly people are buying you.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And they buy the story. They buy your background and your vision.
Mm-hmm. And generally our clients are a mirror of where we've been, where we're going, or where we are, right? So our clients are often a mirror of something in our lives. And so they believe you because they can see that you've found your path out, and that becomes that modeling that we all talk about. So super, super cool to understand what that is. I've created a document for you, which is 17 lead sources. I just don't have it open right now, but there's 17 lead sources that I'm going to share with you after the call. I'll give you the PDF, Jade can share it, about how to go ahead and what are the lead sources in this particular area, the 3 kinds of lead sources, plus what the conversions are for them. So this is something that you can go ahead and apply to your business. I know, it's awesome. So your digital lead sources, for example, Facebook group, Facebook ads, Instagram, PPC campaigns, online promotions, member referrals, point of sale, after sale, member referral friends, competitions, like the list is endless. Local area marketing, fittest street, joint venture partnerships, sponsorships, events, community organizations, schools, like the list is endless. So most of us will go, oh, I don't know where to get a lead from. There's all these opportunities for collaboration. This is what ER is about. It's collaborate, not compete. There's enough work for everyone. We're all looking for the same people. Align yourself with organizations who do business with the people that you want to do business with. Build a cooperative or a collaborative group where you're all looking after the same avatar or the same niche. It's like super cool, right? And not enough people are doing this. And then you as a collective pool share your database, and you're offering this one particular person, your key avatars, lots of opportunities for them to have their problems solved.
Amazing. That reminds me, I'm actually going to record another episode tomorrow with the wellnesspreneur, who's actually based right in our hometown. So he's in Eleanor, Martiene, and I need to hook you guys up because he has your avatar and you have his avatar, and it'll be a match made in heaven. So I can't wait, because he's going to come on and do a whole event for these guys too.
So cool.
Everyone
working together. Seriously, this is the secret sauce. And I know for a fact, because I've worked with ER for a little while, I know that this is how Roger builds his events. You know, it's about partnerships and collaborations. So this is tried and tested. This is not like new woo. This is like true.
Yeah. And we're all looking for that.
We totally are. All right, let's get into the next one, because understanding Facebook ads. So I've had people come to me, it's like, oh, I've done some Facebook ads and they don't work. I'm like, well, there's a couple of things. Facebook changes its algorithms all the time. Every week there's a new thing. So what Facebook did a year ago is not necessarily applicable to now, but what you need to understand is that you need to think like the algorithm. It's an algorithm. So for you who are like, oh, people and don't want to think about the algorithm, that's okay. You just need to understand this. Facebook is the world's biggest department store, right? So you've been shopping in the department store, going around, meeting your friends there for coffee, buying bits and pieces. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, I want to put my product in Bloomingdale's or Macy's or in this department store. But they have like Ferrari and all the big brands, and there's your little thing. So they're like, well, I'm not going to put you in the front of the store next to the Chanel handbag, because I don't know if anyone wants your product, but I am going to give you an opportunity, and you can go sort of back here, and if you're doing well and people start to buy you, we'll give you more shelf time or shelf space. So the things that determine whether the algorithm is going to like you comes down to really 3 key things. It's your bid. like we talked about collaboration, there might be 10 or 20 or 30 people all wanting to come to the same avatar. They're not other wellnesspreneurs, they're not other fitness peeps, they're not other allied professionals. It could be a retail store that wants the same avatar that you're working with. It could be a car manufacturer that was looking for the same avatar as you. It could be a coach that's looking for the same avatar as you. So you're not competing against other fitness businesses. You're competing against anyone who is targeting the same person. Really important to understand. So your bid will allow you to compete. So if a coach is, spending, I don't know, $20 a day and you're spending $3 a day, who is Facebook going to show ads to? Yeah, it's about the bid. I'm not saying be stupid. I'm just saying understand where this comes from.
Not rocket science.
Yeah, but unless someone explains it to you, like, oh, yeah. I get it, right?
Yeah. Once you've been told, you go, oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, my bid is like $1.50 a day.
They're going to give it to the person who's going to pay them more.
That's right, and who's got proven concept.
Yeah.
And so the next piece, and this is called BEAR. So your bid versus your expected action. So Facebook has an expected action for everyone who's in there. So let's say Martiene's on Facebook and we know that she loves shoes and Spain and shopping and walking and yoga. So Facebook is going to share with me things that I'm going to engage with because that's my expected action. So it's important that your bid is considered with the expected action of your audience. So if you're speaking to, say, Martiene, and you start sharing with me cars, I'm probably not going to engage with you because I don't have proven concept engaging with like car stuff. So it's not a good fit. If I'm saying this is my audience, but you're delivering to an audience that's not going to match for you, Facebook is going to penalize you. So you can't just go tapping into weird audiences thinking that they're going to connect. And that brings us to the last one in the BEAR algorithm is relevancy. So if you're advertising for, hey, get my foundation membership, be one of our top 100 people, first 100 people to get this membership offer, and then you take them to a landing page or you take them somewhere that doesn't talk about foundation memberships at this rate, the relevance is not right. So wherever you're driving traffic to, the relevance has to be there, and you really need, the higher the relevance score, the better your ads are going to be shown. The lower the relevance score, the least likely your ads are going to be shown. So that's the algorithm in a nutshell. The other thing is in Facebook, so Instagram is still very easy to grow organically and to have organic engagement. It requires effort. But in Facebook, it's pretty much all paid. It's pretty hard to get organic growth and organic reach when everyone else is paying for it. So it's really important to understand you need the organic content because, again, Facebook rewards consistency and Instagram rewards consistency. But if you want to actually create acquisition campaigns, it needs to be paid. That's it on that. And lastly, it's about personas and hooks. So with this, it's about how do you go ahead and create the right copy that lands. And so I've got a little bit of a sheet here, which I've gone through with iLab before. You need to understand this is for a hairdressing salon, right? So let's say the avatar is brides who are looking for a hairdressing salon. So what they're looking for is advice, a test run. She wants, they're styled a certain way. She doesn't want to have to worry about her day. She wants to trust the stylist. But her pain point is she's not sure what will look good. She doesn't know about going with someone new. So how do you create empathy? Well, as the stylist, you're going to say, well, we understand how you feel about your big day, which is why we want to offer you, a free trial or whatever those things are. And then the proof is obviously testimonials, which you pull from your Instagram feed or your social feeds. And then the offer and the hook is obviously a bridal package, test runs, discount bonuses. So I would challenge you when you're doing your Facebook ads or when you're doing your content to spend a couple hours in this kind of piece. Who are your main 1, 2, 3 avatars? What do they want? What are they looking for when they come online? What are their pain points? How do you connect with their pain point? What proof do you have? And then how do you bundle that into a great offer? This is the secret sauce around building compelling content and also building content that connects and Facebook ads. And you can see here, again, you're going to get all these slides, how different coaches and different businesses do this really well. So, Lewis Howes, he's epic, looking for a breakthrough in your business, webinars. Regan Hillier, I had the pleasure of meeting her just last month. She's amazing little entrepreneur. She does super, super well. So she's again talking about hosting webinars. Ingrid Anna, she's like this diva millionaire chick who helps people with their money problems. So all these people are very clear on their avatar, but their hooks are really solid. So this is an important part to your Facebook ads: the persona, your avatar, and your hooks. Amazing. All right. Funnels. Building sales funnels. Now, everyone's talking about funnels. Funnel this, funnel that, funnel this, funnel that. I built a funnel. My funnel doesn't work. It's like, well, I'm here to tell you that my funnel's clogged. I don't know what's going on. I have a funnel. And I'm like I really tried to avoid the whole funnel thing, but I can't, because it's what everyone's talking about. So what you need to know about funnels is that it's a bow tie, right? It's actually not a funnel. There are 3 stages to your funnel, right? Understanding the bow tie is about traffic versus sales, because you can have traffic funnels and you can have sales funnels, and they are different, but together they make one complete funnel. And the other thing is about your funnel won't work unless you integrate it properly. So having the systems to support your funnel is super important. So let me show you how that looks. Here's the bow tie. Right? Such a good drawer, Martine. So what happens, right? What happens is everyone's like, okay, I'm driving traffic. I'm getting 1,000 landing page views a day. I've got all these followers on my social media. But that's only one part of the funnel. The knot, the bow tie is you, that hook, that offer, the value that you bring to people. That's the thing that's going to bind them into your offer or bind them into your product. And then the back end of the funnel is your sales processes. It's like, what are you doing once you get that leads? This is where sales and marketing work together. Sales is what brings you the traffic to have people see you, and marketing is what brings the traffic in to help people see you, and then the sales is what's going to help bring them into your business as a customer, right? Mm-hmm. So there's 2 kinds of funnels. Your traffic funnel, the thing that holds it together is you and your offer and your value proposition, your compelling offer, your copy, all of that stuff. And then the sales process, how do you take them from being a lead into a customer, is your back end funnel. This is the thing that most people are missing.
Yeah, I'm loving this. And we've just done some upgraded, as of my iLab last week, upgraded content. Instead of just doing the customer pathway now, we've integrated from doing the flow builder stuff and the Entrepreneur 5.0, the value cycle. And that's all about the different stages that would then tie into this as well. Like, where do you get your followers, and how do you turn a follower into community into prospect into a customer, and then a customer into a raving loyal fan or a partner, and then working out. So you work all that out, and then what the next stage from there would be is then how do you make that journey to support it as well, and the systems that go behind it. So that's where you would step in, Martine, for sure.
Totally. I remember presenting at iLab one day, and I had someone, I was like, where did she go? I knew her before. We'd been friends for a long time before she was at iLab. And then she popped up after 2 weeks. She was like, Martine, you hurt my brain. I'm just going to connect with you afterwards, and you can do that for me, right? I'm like, okay, no problem.
I get that. Was she a star or creator? She's like, yeah, too much. Too far. Too far, red car.
Like, you hurt my brain. I'm like, I'm sorry. But I suppose it's really important to understand that thing, because I have a lot of people say, hey, I've got a funnel and it's not working, or I've done ads and they're not working. You're only actually looking at one piece of the puzzle. So your funnel is really a bow tie. Yeah. And let's look at how that can really look. So this is for a what is this, for a college, right? So this is, the process. Okay, well, we have our Facebook and our Instagram ads with a compelling offer. Our target is $2 or $3 per visitor. I think that's quite high to go into a landing page. The landing page has an opt-in. We're looking for a 10 to 15%, conversion on the opt-in, right? So this then gives us our target for our leads. Our leads go into an email nurturing campaign, and that nurturing campaign comes into course enrollments. And so then if they land on the landing page and nothing happens, then we'd retarget them with ads. So this is around, okay, you can see here's traffic. The traffic is only these 2 things, right? But the thing that's actually going to convert them is these pieces around, nurturing and integrating with your software. Now, you can use MailChimp and free software. It's totally fine, right? I wouldn't go and invest in big software, but you've got to, this is where the flow builder comes into place. You've got to understand what are the steps that you want to take people along, and how do you make each one of these steps a connected step that they're like, oh yeah, they totally get me. And that's through whatever that nurturing sequence is for you. So it's super important to know this. Yes. Happy days.
You can see me
right?
to watch the screen. I'm like, oh my gosh,
what's going on? Yes, we need to do that. Yeah. And then, well, what is your sales process, right? Now, I even, like, Donna really questioned me on this one day. I'm like, sales is a process. She's like, you don't think it's relationships? I said, relationship is part of the process, right? It is. It's part of the process. Sometimes they're process, right?
Family relationships, customer relationship, prospect relationship.
All a process.
All a relationship. It's all a process.
All a process. Yeah, building likability, building trust is a process. You know, people don't just trust you the first time they meet you. They could, but it might take a few goes, right? It's like dating. You know, no one like goes on the first date and says like, this is it. Some people do, and that's okay too. But most of us need like a few dates to know where this is all going. So this is the same with your sales processes. Like, what are you doing to qualifying the lead? Are you just like letting everyone land in your inbox and thinking it's going to be okay? You need to understand that they're the right people. So questionnaires and like qualification questions, or, you know, getting on a phone call is super, super simple. It's important about what does this look like? And we use a process called YMCA. Why are you calling, or what is the purpose of the call? M is, I know, M is, are you currently a member anywhere else, right? YMCA, are you a member of the community? So are you a member of a club or a member of a practice anywhere else? So C is, you know, are you using another service like this, or have you used a service like this in the past? And A is, do you live or work in the area? So these are good qualifying steps, because if you don't know why they're calling, you know, if they remember someone else somewhere else, if they're not living and working in the area, then you'll understand, are they going to be a good fit for you? So just understanding how to qualify your leads to know this is a good use of your time is really important.
Yeah. That's a really important one, because especially when you set up these funnels, and if you are getting lots of leads, and specifically if you've not got screen out processes or opt out processes throughout the process, in terms of you're not telling people who you're for and who you're not for, you could end up with a big load, and you think your funnel doesn't work because your system doesn't work, and you get overwhelmed as well, right? So it's far better to think about how can you pre-qualify up front, because you're more likely to take action and your ratios are going to be far better. So you're much better having quality over quantity, and making sure that it's a good value of your time.
Totally. Otherwise, you'll be like, oh, I got all these leads, but leads are rubbish. I'm like, leads are never rubbish, right? People are people. They're always an opportunity. Marketing was rubbish. Your funnel didn't work. All these things. But what is the level of readiness for this person? And understanding that level of readiness is just super important. They might not be a now, but they could be a later. So understanding.
Well, they might know someone to now.
Totally. The easiest way to get a win is what we call like a fan bam, right? So you want to book an appointment from an appointment, right? So this is like quite often done. So if you're giving someone a tour of your facility, or you're bringing someone down to the studio, or maybe you're giving them like a free session or whatever that is, a really simple way to do that, a free class, is to say, well, who do you know? It's always intimidating the first time for some people. Who do you know that you could bring with you, right? Yeah. Because this is fun with two, or whatever that might be. So a really easy way to like increase or double your output is just to say, who do you know that would want to come with you? Who do you know that like wants this too, right? Simple practices.
You could always, like, even as, say, a massage practitioner or something, if you've had a loyal customer, you could say after their 5th appointment, we would like to give one of your friends a free hour massage. Who would you like to gift that to?
Totally. And that's that loyalty piece, right, around, your member referrals for, say, a yoga studio or a fitness studio or a wellness studio. When someone comes down the first time, it's like, hey, we always want to reward our new customers. Here's like a buddy pass or a VIP pass for one of your friends. The easiest time to ask for a sale is when someone's making a sale, right? So easiest time to ask for a referral is when they're actually in there buying for themselves. So the other thing is sales, you need a script. And I don't mean reading a script and making sure you ask all the questions, but you need to have like a real clear sales process. So for coaches, I'll say if you've got an hour consultation or an hour strategy call, that is part of your sales process. And within that hour, you might do the first 15 minutes is a needs analysis. What's the problem? What are they hoping to solve? The next 30 minutes could be like how you go ahead and solve that problem for them. And then the last 15 minutes is around giving them the options to solve the problem. So you get to find out what is the issue, give them an example of what it's like to work with you, and then show them how they can solve that problem long term. That is a sales process. Within that, actually asking for the sale is the most important part, because a lot of coaches, personal trainers, massage therapists, yoga studios, small fitness businesses, what they do is like they'll give you a free trial, and at the end, because they're so back to back, they don't have the time to actually say, okay, well, this is what you came to us for. You're worried about your back pain or whatever else. This is the recommendation I have for you on how you're going to solve that so we can get you out of pain, and we'd love to help you get there. And these are the steps that you need to take. Now, you can either do that with us or you can do that on your own. Which one would be a good fit for you? Most people are going to be like, oh, well, if they had a great experience, they want to do it with you. But you need to give them those steps.
100%.
Yeah. 100%. And the same with your online sales. Your online sales should be the same. Like you're understanding the process, making it easy for someone to buy online. A lot of people use MindBody software or Gym Master software. They're really simple processes for people to buy online. But don't be afraid of building that process into your online sequence, into your nurturing sequence, into your sales pages, right? So if someone presses the button to make a purchase, it's like, hey, this is how we can serve you. Our mission is this. And, we want to make this an easy experience for you. This is what you expect from us next. And really letting people know what they should expect as part of that sales process is super important. Yeah.
Love this.
I know this is, again, so this is very strategic, right? Very methodological. And then the last piece, there's two more steps. The other thing is, we talked about people want to do business with people, but it's also about the experience of coming into your facility, right? So again, whatever facility that you have, when people come in, it's about the experience for them and how they feel going through it. And I'll always say, this, Jade, I've asked you a million times and everyone else, how do people feel when they engage with you and your product and service? And does your marketing match that feeling? So when people come in and they're coming to a new, maybe going for a new massage, or they're coming into a new yoga center, or they might be trying a new personal trainer, or they're having a new coaching session, or whatever these things are, what is the emotional connection, or what is the experience of that person doing business with you? It's super important to understand that. And then if you have team, how do you get the team to create that experience? So every connection is an opportunity for a valuable impression with that customer, or a connected moment. So every time we engage with someone, whether it's a greeting, whether it's an email, whether it's, a free session, whether it's, a tool, or whatever you're doing, each one of those touch points need to be a connected touch point so people feel really valued. So it's making sure your team are on board with this is super important. Making sure you're creating the environment that's great for connection. So if you're, again, I'll take a yoga studio because I've worked with them a lot at the moment, where you don't have staff. So let's say you want to create a digital funnel, but you don't have a reception team or you don't have staff. How easy is it for that person or for a prospect to come into your facility and have an experience of that, and then maybe go through and, have a trial or come to a class if you don't have anyone there who's meeting and greeting? If you've got all these instructors being on your front desk 5 minutes before you open and 5 minutes after the class, what's that experience going to be like for a prospect?
Yeah.
I reckon 90% of yoga studios do that, or fitness studios do that, right? It's like they have the instructor, meet and greet people at the beginning, meet and greet people at the end, and there's no sales process and there's no experience for people. They might be having a bad day, but they don't care because you're paying them by the hour. So they're like, well, I don't care. It's not on me if I don't make a sale. This person can come in, no problem. But that's not going to create a great experience.
No.
I know, right? And the last thing is,
you don't want when you're hot and sweaty after instructing the class and everything to be standing there trying to make a close.
But they're not interested because it's not their business.
About your moves, and it's just definitely
not interested.
The right energy, not the right person.
No, they're not invested in your business.
They're all in spirit energy. They need to be in steel energy or blaze energy to make the connections, depending on what the situation is. Yeah.
This happens time and time again, right? So I just think if growing your membership business or growing your business is important to you, and you know that the peak time for new people coming in is evenings, then get your butt to your business and be there at critical times. There's no easy way. Sorry.
I love it.
Yeah. This is what we call the
little shake.
This is what we call the teeny shake. Come on, get to your business. It's like the teeny shake. So it's like, if you have Tuesdays off, but that's your busiest day in your studio, like what decision are you making right now? Yes, it's lifestyle choice, but if you're in the place where you need 100 members, lifestyle's not the biggest priority for you right now.
The lifestyle will come once you get to the members.
Totally. 100 members for any organization.
And then you can hire someone to do it for you.
Totally. If your business has a membership value of say $25 per member, 100 members has an impact of up to $300,000 per annum, right? So if you knew that getting 100 members was worth an extra $300,000 this year, what kind of priority would you give that?
I want to make a subscription base as soon as I get back to Australia.
Yeah, right. I was working with one of my team. She's
what
like,
can I do?
She's like, I think I'm in the wrong business. I'm like, yeah, maybe you are.
Yeah, probably.
This is good business, right? This is really good business. But it requires dedication. People say, why don't you do this? I'm like, because I'm location free. I don't want to sit in one space right now, but I will. And when I do, watch out.
But like we said before, there's a way that you can, like, if you look at it from another angle, there is ways that there's plenty of people doing subscription-based things, even whether they be masterminds, whether they be to podcasts, to all sorts of things, to different content that people are paying $25 a week for to be on a cycle.
Mm-hmm.
And, how can you look at things from another perspective and add something like that in?
I can tell you, I've been a member of when I started in digital marketing, because I started with Total Fusion, and then I was like, oh, I'm quite good at this marketing thing. Maybe I should just consult back to you. And when I started consulting back to you, I was like, oh, I got new clients. The day I left my job as the operations manager of Total Fusion, I trebled my income, right? And I did that by building a residual income, not building a recurring income with subscriptions, right? Mm-hmm. So but also I realized that what I knew was only minuscule, but I still know it's only minuscule, right? I'm still learning. But I needed a coach. So I paid a subscription of $497 per month to a marketing agency to help me with my marketing funnels. I only just canceled that subscription last month. So like this was just $497 a month for peace of mind, knowing that I had a team, should I need any problems, that I could problem solve it. So it was just a coaching business that I could get on calls whenever I felt like it. The calls were all hours of the day and night, but it was that security of knowing I had a backup plan should I need that support, right? Yeah. So a really good model. They only have 200 or 300 people in that business, but 200 people at $500 a month is a good business, right?
Sure.
Good membership model. I know. Totally. So we can all do that.
Yeah.
And then the last piece is onboarding. Come on, baby. And then the thing is the onboarding. So a lot of people, and particularly, if you're sales focused, what happens is you get a new sale and then people feel like they're a number because you haven't onboarded them. So we always talk about the 2-2-2. What do you do in the first 2 minutes? What do you do in the first 2 weeks? What do you do in the first 2 months? What you do in the 222 will create that longevity within your business, right? So as soon as someone makes a sale, what is the process and the connection point from that? And how do you make this a meaningful connection so that people feel like they've given you their money and they're in good hands? Super important. Yay. How are we doing for time? We're doing good.
That is definitely something that I see a lot of people fall down on. They just drop the ball once the money's hit the account, and they're like, oh yeah, next, and that really is the customer experience. That's where it starts to take over, and that's where you get your referrals, or you won't get your referrals.
Totally. Every member that you sign will bring you 2 more members in the lifetime of a membership, right? So if you knew that every time you brought someone into your business, that's worth 3, then what would you do differently? Yeah. And again, if every membership is worth $1,000 to you, then if that person is worth $3,000 to you, what would you do? If every person that signed up to your subscription was worth $3 or $4 or $5 or $10,000 to you, how would you do it differently?
Yeah,
that's the key. Yeah,
great mindset to have.
Yeah, totally. And then the thing that wraps all of this up is how do you measure this? It's not just willy-nilly, right? So understanding what activity is needed in order for you to hit these targets, what planning is needed in order for you to hit your targets, and what's the strategy. And this is all about conversions, but also being super mindful. So again, I had a client very recently, and I would say, well, what's your current membership? And they're like, oh, we sold heaps of memberships. So what's your number? If growing your membership is important, knowing your number is equally important. So when I was managing big fitness businesses, we had a daily number. And if we missed the number the day before, we would have to hit it in the next week. And you know that too, coming from sales business, Jade. So, we had a monthly target, and then we would map out based on trends. We know Monday, Tuesday was a high day, Wednesday, Thursday was a low day, Friday was a rubbish day, Saturday was a high day. So we'd map out a weekly strategy of what is our target for each day. If we needed to make 3 sales today, then how many people did we need to tour or bring through the business? Well, based on conversions, let's say even 30% of the people who come into your facility were always going to buy, right? So if you're converting at 30-40%, then you don't really need any sales strategy because they were coming in with intention anyway. The next 30%, maybe you've had some sort of skill that you're able to give them some value, and they connect in with what that looks like. So if you have a 60% conversion, you've got some sales skill. But if your conversions are over 60, 60, 70, 80, 90%, now you've got some sales skill in the bag, and you're able to give people an experience and take them through the journey and have a really great close ratio. So if you know that your conversions are 50%, you need 3 sales, then you need to speak to 6 people today, or you need to tour 6 people today. It's that simple.
We used to know our numbers really well, and that was right down that sales process. So we knew we had to make 100. If we're making cold calls, they need to be 100 cold calls to be able to get 2 interviews locked in. When I was back in the recruitment days, we need to have 2 interviews a day to get 10 interviews for the week. If we were going to have a chance for most trainees or most new people coming in, to get 2 interviews from that 10 to go to second, and then 1 in 9 of those usually got closed by the average consultant. So by honing the skill and knowing and watching the metrics, I was able to figure out that for me, I need better research so I could drop my numbers down to 80 outbounds, and then I only needed to have a few people turn up to second interviews because I had a 1 in 3 close rate instead of a 1 in 9 close rate.
Totally. And so the trick is to get better with your sales.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're not measuring that, Totally. And look, then your whole marketing becomes much easier, because if you know that, okay, well, you only need to make your 80 calls as opposed to 100 calls, or you know that you only need 20 leads coming in a day as opposed to 40 leads coming in a day, then how much more effective is your time? But if you don't know this number, and I'd say most wellnesspreneurs, fitnesspreneurs don't know this number, or a little bit deluded. I can say that because I've been a PT, a Pilates instructor, a yoga instructor, I've been a life coach, a nutrition coach, God, all these things. But and most people think they're awesome. It's oh yeah, I close almost everyone. I had this guy who worked for me. His name was Moses. Cutest thing ever. He was such a cutie, and I was coaching him. So I was like, hey, Moe, what's your close ratio? He's like, I close everyone. I'm like, yeah, cool, awesome. But what is the number? He's like, 90% or whatever else. And then the next week he'd come to me, it's like, I'm losing all these people. And I'm like, why? He said, I don't know, like awesome sessions. And I'd be like, oh, Moses, do you think they have some buyer's remorse? It's like, what do you mean? I'm like, because you just push them for the sale and push them for the sale and push them for the sale. You actually are not keeping them. So they're like cancelling within your cooling off period or whatever that thing is. So you're not building that beautiful relationship. So you might have a high closing ratio, but you've got a really low retention space, right? So understanding your measures and what that is super important. And that comes down to your planning and your strategy. So this is like, if you don't know this, you cannot drive your membership.
No. I'm just, with the sales side of things, I am just, from running big sales teams and being a sales recruiter for 13 years, so it was like the whole thing, right? Understanding your metrics, understanding your numbers. Like when you first start, just make your best guess at how many you need to speak to or what you think. And then if you nail that easily, then up the number. If it's really hard, look at the other things before you change it. But really having a way to measure it and look at it and just be honest. Because if you're not honest with yourself, and the person we normally lie to the most is ourselves, right? When it comes to these, it's like we want to pretend we're doing better because we don't really want to have a look at the hard work that might need to be done. Do I need to retweak my sales script? Do I need to do better research? Do I need to create a better funnel? Do I need to pay someone to do my advertising? But if you don't know the reality, then you will not be able to create the dream. So you need to look at what the reality is so that you can get to what your dream is.
Totally true. Yeah, and so if you're not committed to this number, you're not going to be successful. And I don't mean that to be unkind, but if you don't know that, okay, if I speak to 10 people, I know that 7 of them are going to buy, then I know what that is, right? And I know that we can't be all things to all people, but it's not about being salesy, but it's about understanding what do you need. If I know that I need 10 new clients and I want 10 new clients, this quarter, then I know that I need to speak to, 17 people because my close ratio is there. But that's part of my process. Like, how do I create value? What does that look like? What is the buying cycle for my customers? So some people take longer to buy from me because my product's a little bit more expensive than a gym membership, right? So a little bit. So it's understanding what is the buying decision of your customer as well. So these are really important things. Map out your plan, do some decent strategy, know your numbers, know your targets, commit to knowing your numbers, commit to understanding what that looks like. Measure. You cannot build acquisition funnels without knowing what your data is. So it's boring, but the data, like, it's a numbers game. And so the reason why I say I can guarantee 100 members for any organization once I know your data. If I don't have your data, I can't help you at all. But if I knew your data, if your close ratio was 2 out of 10, I could still get you 100 members. It would take longer and it would cost more money, but we can get you 100 members. But it's based on this. This is the key.
Yeah.
So that's all I have for you guys today on this one. Was there anything else on that, Jade?
No, I was just going to say that making sure that you know what success looks like and what that means to you. So if you hit that number, what does that mean to you? Like, what does this amount of calls actually mean? How does that translate? If I get these sales, if I make 10 more calls today, if I hone my skills a little bit and I close one more deal every day or every week, what does that look like annualized? What does that mean for the business? And what reward are you going to give yourself when you achieve that? Like, are you doing the sales because you want to buy new equipment? Like, even put it as a visual, like, make it so that you know why you're doing it. And this was my big thing. Like, I had my loaders. I had the picture of my loaders next to my phone because I'd make 100 cold calls a day, get told to fuck off 99 times, but I could look down and go, that is why I'm doing this. That is why I'm doing this. It took me 5 years. I could have bought it earlier, but there was a self-worth issue, but that's okay. We got there. But I got everyone on my team to what does it mean to you to do this? Like, don't just do it because you think, oh, I need to do this, or I'm growing my business. Like, tangibly, what does it look like? What does it feel like? Okay, if I get to the 100 members, then that's going to allow me to put someone else on my team and buy my freedom back. So what is it like? What's your key driver behind it? What does it mean to you? If you get to the 100 members, does it allow you to open a new studio? What is it? And just remind yourself, and if you've got a team, remind them and find out what it means to them to be a part of that as well. Because that's when the tough when it comes to getting tough and it's feeling shit and things aren't working and you've got to do the hard work to fix it, that's what's going to give you the strength to get in there and the energy to go forward.
Totally. It really is about understanding what are the drivers for you and your business, and understanding those elements. It's not going to be easy, and understanding that it's not free, right? So, and that's not me saying, hey, I'm expensive or whatever, but people say, oh, I don't want to spend $10 on a lead. But if spending $10, and let's say your conversion is 30%, right? So if you spend $30 to get a new member and that member's worth $1,000 to you, is that a good investment? But people are like, oh, I don't want to spend $30 on a lead. Well, if you want 100 leads a month, right, and it's $30 a lead, then you're going to need to spend $3,000. Oh, I'm not willing to do that. Well, then how long is it going to take you to hit your goal? And so it's all about reverse engineering. If you know your cost per lead, your cost of acquisition, and your conversions, then it's a numbers game. But you've got to have the proof in this thing. So, yes, anything is possible. Is it easy? Yeah, when you know these things, it's easy. Is it cheap? Well, it depends on your conversions, right? Get better at converting.
Get better at it.
Get better at it, and the cost of acquisition will go down. But it really is about knowing that this is the cost of acquiring a new member, and this is what a member is worth. If it cost me $100 to get a member and they're worth $600, it's still a good acquisition process, right? If you knew you could spend $100 and make $500, you'd do it tomorrow in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So why aren't you doing it in your business?
Yeah, we gamble that sort of stuff. Why?
All the time.
I know.
I spend it on dinner.
I know. Couple of cocktails. Yeah. Like, what is it?
A couple of cocktails in Dubrovnik. Oh my God. I was lucky I didn't spend too much time there. I was in Dubrovnik last week. I was like, oh my God, I just spent like $100 on 3 gin and tonics. Stupid. Anyway.
Wow. Yes.
Ridiculous.
The price we pay to travel the world, my dear.
I know, right? It's like, let's not stay here for too long. Let's go somewhere cheap.
Yeah, after this, I'm gonna go and have dinner at Dandelion and buy a beer for like $2.50.
I'm so jealous. That's all right. I think I had a glass of wine last night for like €3. So I'm like, yes, back.
€3, $6. Pretty good, actually. That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
I know, right?
I think this has been super, super beneficial. This is actually, I haven't seen this presentation before, so I'm glad it's recorded because I didn't take notes. But more importantly, I'm glad I just gonna get you to do it for me. No, there's bits in there I need to know myself, and that I'm going to work on. So I think this has been wonderful. I know that mainly we were talking about how it can apply to membership-based businesses and health and wellness, but it can apply to anything. Think differently. How can you have a membership? Like, I know mechanics that have memberships for doing their tune-ups and things like that. Like, there is so many different organizations that if you just looked at things a little different, you could implement and have a marked effect on your business. So thank you so much for giving me your time. I know that, you're trying to fit everything in. You're about to work the El Camino. I'm like, please, before you go walking, can you do this for our community? And I'm sure they're going to be ever grateful as well. Now, tell us, though, what is the best way for them to get these tools that you've offered?
So I will share them with you, but if they want to contact me directly, they can do that on Facebook or Instagram by direct message, Martiene van Styne, either one. And yes, there's this slideshow which you can have, plus the 17 lead sources as a PDF. So super happy to give those to the community because I think they're really beneficial. Yeah, easy.
That's amazing. Well, what we'll do is I'll get the slide deck ready to go with this web event. And I'd say if someone wants the 17 lead sources, you can see Martiene's name over here on the screen and send her a direct message and say, hey, I want the 17 lead sources.
Done. Easy. Perfect.
Easy. Or hit
Thank
me
you
up.
so much.
Easy to find. So yeah, I am so grateful and I'm so excited for what is to come, and I will see you real soon.
You will see me soon. Enjoy. It's lovely to see everyone. Super happy to serve. So wish you all the best in your businesses and in your memberships. Now you know that membership is the bomb, right?
I do. I'm getting on it. I'm going to find a way.
On.
Thanks, honey.
Yeah, perfect. Pleasure, darling.
Bye.
Bye.